everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have something really interesting to talk to you about today. We are going to talk about how I embellished my garment with embroidery for pretty much the second time in my whole life. The first time I did it on one of my daughter's dresses a long time ago, and then I revisited it recently. Real quick, if you like this content and you want to see more fabric hauls and other things that I talk about, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you can be notified when I have another video. And if you can't hit the notification bell, it's because you subscribed to me when my channel was made for kids by accident. So unsubscribe, resubscribe real quick, and then you'll be able to hit the bell. For I think Christmas or my birthday brought me like a starter kit for embroidery because I said that I wanted it. Of course, I haven't touched it in the longest time, but I am always looking to expand my knowledge, expand what I know, make my sewing garments like 10 times better by adding this or that. I've enjoyed learning to knit, I've enjoyed learning to crochet, and now I'm enjoying putting embroidery on my handmade garments. Like, what? It's like combining all the fiber arts, and it just is so awesome. So I made this apron dress. It is the Assembly Line Shop apron dress, and I made it out of organic cotton twill from Measure Fabric. I was gifted this fabric. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. Woo. And this is basically, it's like a little pinafore, very wide skirt, very comfortable, big pockets, super easy to make. In the back, it does actually close, and it's actually sewn up in the back, so you can't really see anything. Luckily, nothing shows and it won't flap open, but it does have these two little buttons that basically cinch it in whenever you are wearing it. So that's kind of how that's done. You can also use snaps back there. I took it upon myself to watch another person's YouTube about starting embroidery, and I will link that above. And I basically used her video plus like this pattern that she sells on Etsy and all of her beginning tips or beginner tips to learn how to do my embroidery. So basically what I did is, before I sewed this pocket onto the garment, I cut the pocket out. I made sure that the pocket was big enough, or like I cut around the pattern piece. I left extra room so that I could put it in a hoop. I got a hoop about this size, which I think is 6 inches. Put it inside. I wish I would have got a bigger one, but I didn't cut quite a big enough piece to put in a bigger hoop. So I just had to move this hoop around. So I did that. I got that hoop. I put some tracing paper, some fabric tracing paper, on face down. I put the pattern that I printed from this beginner website, and I put it on top. And then, so the tracing paper's facing down, pattern's on top. I traced what I wanted onto the pocket, and then I started doing the embroidery stitches. It was a little bit rough at first. My stitches were not the greatest. I had to pull a couple of them out, but it really wasn't that bad, and it probably took me about 2 evenings to do, which is like really quick in my opinion. And I just freehanded it. I mean, I didn't trace it on here. big mistake I made before I knew any better. I cut the strap out to size, and I didn't leave like extra fabric around it. And so it was really hard to put it in my hoop. So I did use my sewing machine to put it, to stitch it on some muslin, because I was going to use muslin for my backing for this anyways, because I wanted it to have a little bit more structure. And so I used muslin as a backing, and then I stitched it on, and the muslin was a lot wider than the pattern piece, if that makes sense. And so then I was able to fit it in this hoop. Now, if I didn't want to do that, I could have maybe fit it in a tinier hoop. This is a 4-inch hoop. And then I could have just stretched it real good. But if the whole fabric doesn't, like if the fabric isn't big enough to fit in just one hoop, if there's not enough fabric, excuse me, to fit in this tiny hoop, it won't stretch it out as good and it won't be as stable. So it's better to have like a backing or something like that. I'm not really teaching you the beginning steps of embroidery, because there's a lot more videos that can help you with that. I'm basically just telling you my experience with it. So I use muslin for backing for here, and I really like it because there's not really a lot of pulling. The stitches lay really flat. Now that could just be because this was my second time, like I did the pocket first, and so I wasn't pulling as tight, because I do feel like the pocket looks a little bit funny to me, because it looks kind of wrinkly, and I think it's because I pulled my stitches too tight, or the fabric maybe just didn't really agree with the interfacing that I used. So I did not use muslin as a backing for this. I used a wash away or water soluble embroidery interfacing, and this is Wash and Gone by Pellin. It's water soluble embroidery, non-woven. And you basically stitch it on, you don't iron it on, you sew it on to the back, you do your embroidery stitches, and then you just like dip it in water and bring it back out. It might just be wrinkly because I dipped it in water, and maybe it was just like if you don't put something in the dryer and you just kind of hang it dry, it kind of is like a little bit wrinkled. Might just need a good iron. I haven't really pressed it yet, so I could maybe do that and see if that helps. But overall, I'm a beginner. I do prefer what the other one looks like with the muslin as a backing. So technically, I probably didn't even need a backing for this, because it's a big, it's a nice, thick, sturdy material. But I decided to put one anyway because I was a beginner, and I was like, well, that's what everybody does. And I didn't want my fabric to get like really warped after I put it in the hoop. I didn't want it to like stretch it out in a weird way. And I do feel like putting the backing on there helped it not stretch out so much. Very important thing I forgot to mention, before I did any embroidery, I went ahead and drew in my seam lines so that I would know where this was going to stop right here, because you know the pattern piece goes down further because of the way it's stitched in, but I knew where the seam line was going to be. I knew where the notch was. I knew where it was going to be attached, so I knew I couldn't embroider like underneath that. And basically you need to obviously do your embroidery on all your pieces before you make the garment, because that's the easiest, because then it's not attached to anything. And then the backs of my stitches are buried inside of this, which is really nice. There's not really any backing here, but like I said, if I would have used muslin, I probably would have kept the muslin over the whole piece, and it just would have been like a pocket lining, and that would have been really nice because these wouldn't be exposed. I don't think it's gonna bother me because they're nice and tight. There's nothing I can catch on. And then if it does bother me one day, I'm sure I could just attach some muslin in there and like try to invisibly hand stitch it, but I probably will not do that. Basically, I'm probably going to find a lot more excuses to add embroidery to a lot of my garments. I am making another garment that I'm going to do embroidery on, excuse me. And it is a knit garment. I am almost done with it. I have to knit the other sleeve. I have one more sleeve to knit, but I've basically finished one side of this cardigan. That's the front, this is the back, and this is the one sleeve that I finished, and it has a nice long cuff. I actually extended the cuff. It's a We Are Knitters kit, and it's called the Tap Cardigan. I made it in this wine color, and I was thinking, I've seen people embroider on knit garments. You obviously don't put it in a hoop or anything like that, because that would totally stretch it out, make it all crazy. But I think I'm gonna do like little rosettes, like just kind of like sparse, maybe like more on the bottom, and then they just kind of like fade out as they go up. And I'm not gonna put them up too high, I don't think. I don't think I'm gonna put anything up here. I might put a few just like clustered on the back right there, and then I'm gonna do the other sleeve as well. I might even make it asymmetric and not do that many on the other sleeve, or do any on the other sleeve. I haven't really decided. Good thing about that is I can just pull it out or cut it out if I don't like it, and then it's gone, and I can change my mind and it'll be fine. I do need to go purchase some embroidery thread. I was gonna do it out of yarn because I've seen that, but I think I want to use embroidery thread because I think it'll have like more of a dainty look. So anyway, more embellishing, because if any of you guys know me, you know that I can't wear like solid colors. Like, I don't know why, but I'm just like, they have to have like something extra. So I have a really big problem with doing that. It's very strange. Also wanted to talk briefly about some of the things that came in this embroidery kit. I'll try to link it below if I can find it. It got these little snips, and then I had this little seam ripper that came with it, because you know you might want to rip out a seam here and there. It had some needles that came with it, which are really nice. And then this little threader, which is very valuable for embroidery. I also went and got these cute little magnets, so I can put it on my fabric that's in my hoop, and it's got like this part right here and a little magnet that it attaches to through the fabric so that this stays. And then your needle, let's pretend this is a needle, you can pop your needle on there when you're not working. So it's really cool. Love those. So I use that very often. I also got extra little cards so I can put my extra thread on there after I take it out of this thing. I also got this little needle holder. It's wooden, and I can put my needles in there that I'm using. And I think that's about it that I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's really exciting to get to incorporate all these different hobbies all together and make this just this culmination of super awesome artwork. And I'm really excited about all these different things. And I'm gonna wear this a lot. I think I can wear it over a swimsuit. I can wear just like a camisole underneath it. I think it'd be good in the kitchen when I'm cooking. I think it would be good gardening. Like, I think it would be good just to go out in general. Like, it's so comfortable and so cute. I think it'd be good with like a poof sleeve underneath. Other than that, that's all I'm going to talk about for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a little different from my other videos, but I am about more than just sewing. So I wanted to share some other things that I enjoy and how you can embellish your garments. If you have any questions, or you want to comment on anything, or you have any suggestions, or you're very into embroidery and you have some other people you would like to share, or if you have any tips for me about backings, I am completely new, complete beginner. So you just let me know all your thoughts down below. Like I said before, hit the notification bell and the subscribe button down below if you want to be notified when I have another video, and hit the like button if you liked this video, because that will help other people find it. Find me on Instagram and share if you've embroidered on a project, because I really, really want to see it, and I've been stalking everybody that's doing that lately. So talk to y'all later. Bye!